Hey guys, Chris the Showoff here again today with another Rubik's Cube video. If you watched my last video, you should know notation. It took me 8 minutes to explain. Even then, I probably didn't explain that well. If you didn't watch it, go back and watch it. Links in the description. If you did watch it and you have studied up on your notation and you have a fair rudimentary understanding of it, this is the video you want to be on. This is learning how to solve the whole first layer of the cube. So let's get right into it. Let's stop the bullcrap. Yeah. So let's give it a mix up, just to start off. Now you should after you it just requires a little bit of practice to start moving really fast with the cube. If you have a normal Rubik's cube and not a speed cube, I recommend getting a speed cube. I'm actually using a Diane Zanchi. You can buy it on Amazon, eBay, wherever. Yeah, it comes in stickered and stickerless. I think this was about $12 on Amazon. So do whatever you want with that. So all right, let's get into it. So I usually start with the white side. Let me explain this. The center color is always the color of that side. So this is the white side. This is the yellow side, blue side. This is the green side, red side, and orange side. I start with the white side on top because the white pieces are easier to spot because they're the brightest color. So first we're going to start off with the 4 edges. The difference between edges and corners is corners are the 4 corners of one face. So here, 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 and here. The edges are the pieces in between, so the parts that only have 2 colors instead of 3. So here, here, so here, 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 and here. So we're going to start off by putting in the 4 edges correctly. So we're going to start off by looking for a white edge. There's one right here already aligned with the white side. The only problem is it is flipped and it's aligned with the wrong side. This is the red and white edge, and it's aligned with the blue side. We need to align it with the red side first. So let's look for it right here. We have our edge here and our red side right here. So how are we going to align this with this? Easy enough, we just turn it. So now we have the red and white over the red. But we need to find a way to flip this piece so the white lines up with white and red lines up with red. If you can't see this, here it is a little bit closer. White and red, red and white. All we need to do is flip this piece over so it matches. So what we're going to do is, it's a very easy algorithm to do. What we're going to do is, we're going to move it to the side. Okay, so once more, white side's on top, move it over. That doesn't affect the white side. We're going to move it up. So now we have the whites lined up, and we have our red piece here, and our red side's back here, so we're just going to move it back over. Now, we have our piece flipped, and it's in the correct position. That's 1 edge down, 3 more to go. If that was a little bit too fast, you can rewind, look again. If I'm not very good at explaining, which I know I'm not, you can probably just go to another video, or I will probably make more. Just request in the comments, and I'll make more that are more in depth, and they explain a little bit slower. I have a lot to explain in one video and not much time, so I'm moving a little bit fast. So we've got 1 edge down. We have 3 more to go. So let's look for another white edge. Here's one right here. It's actually on the opposite side. So here's the edge, here's the white side. This is actually the green and white edge. If the white is on the bottom, that's actually very good because it's very easy to put it on top. What we do is, here's the edge, it's green. Our green side is right here, so all we have to do is spin that so it lines up. Now, we have our white on bottom, and it just needs to be right here. So all we have to do is give it a little bit of a spin to get it to line up with the top. Let's explain one more time. So, our edge is here. The green has to line up with the green side here. So we spin it so it lines up, and we spin it twice to get it into the top. Okay, so now we have 2. Ignore the corner that's already filled in. That comes for later. So we have 2 more to go. Let's look for another one right here. Perfect. So what we need to do is we need to line this up so it gets into the top. It's already lined up with the orange. It just needs to go right here. So all we do is give it 1 spin, and it's already in the top. So we have 3 edges, and we have 2 corners. Just ignore these. Just imagine they're not there. So we have 1 more edge to go. Our last edge is right here, also another easy case. We just give it a spin, and it goes to the top. But let's see if I can't give you a case that's a bit more challenging to put into the top. So I gave it a bit of a mix-up here, and let me kind of... Okay, so here. We have our red piece here and here, right? Just, let's say you have this case. If you don't, fine, just ignore this part of the video. For the people that might have it, just pay attention. So we have it on the bottom. It's already lined up. If it's not lined up, line it up first. And we need to get it in the top. Now, if you did what I said before, give it a double spin, it's going to be in the right spot, but it's going to be flipped. So what I actually do is I flip it before I put it in the top. This is actually really easy to do. You move it off to one side. So now, if you'll see here, directly above it, we have this blank area right here. So here's the white piece. If we were to spin it up like that, now it's up in the top layer where it needs to be, but it's in the wrong spot. It's above the blue. So how do we fix this? We actually spin the top over one side, then we move it up. So now it needs to go here. Now each piece in the top layer needs to move over one. So if we spin it back, every piece aligns itself. Now if you didn't get that, look back, or I'll make another video. And our last piece, just we spin it under the color and on top. The cross is one of the fundamental parts of solving, and after a while you'll get a knack for it. What I recommend is, if you have a piece in the middle, always just move it to the bottom, spin it under the color it needs to be aligned with, and do what I told you to do. If the white's on the bottom already, just double spin it into the top. If it's not on the bottom, if it's under its color but it's flipped, move it to the side, move everything over one, move it into the top, and then move everything back. So now, if you'll look here, we actually have a cross, and we have one corner filled in. Ignore the corner, just pretend we just have this. So now what we need to do is, we need to work on putting the four corners in. So this corner here, we're actually, now that we have the white, it's on top, we're actually going to flip it to the bottom. So now everything is on the bottom here, and we have our filled in corner right here. Now, we have to look at the side colors. If they match up with the edges, so green, orange, this is the green and orange corner. So see how these match up and these match up. That means this corner is already in the correct position. So what we need to do is actually get the rest of the corners into their pre-assigned spots. So we have this one needing to go here, orange and blue. It's facing to the right in this case. So if you look at it from your view, it should look like this. The white is facing to the right. So what we're going to do is the algorithm F, R prime, F prime, R. That should put it in. Next we have the green and red. Put it between the green and red sides. It's also facing to the right. So F, R prime, F prime, R. That puts it in there. And we have the last one facing to the right. Do the same thing. Puts it in right there. So this should have the first layer solved. And there's two other cases you can have with the corners. Now, if it's in the bottom layer and it's in the wrong spot, just do the algorithm R, U, R prime, U prime. And that should put it in the top. And then you can rearrange it and then put it where you need to be. Another case you might have is if it's facing to the left, you actually do the algorithm U, R, U prime, R prime, and that should put it in. And if it's facing up, you do R, U2, R prime, U prime, R, U, R prime, and that should put it in. So here we have one facing to the top, R, U2, R prime, U prime, R, U, R prime. That puts it in right there. All the algorithms are also in the description, so if you forget any, or I'm moving too fast and you can't write them down, or whatever, they're in the description. That concludes the first layer. Good luck.